There's three big categories that explain why you don't have a girlfriend right now. But if you can fix all of them, you'll be a high value man who can attract the girl of your dreams with ease. I used to be a shy introvert and then went on to be a confident playboy. And each time I leveled up one of these categories, my dating life saw crazy improvements. This first aspect is what allows you to get your foot in the door. Without it, your success is going to be seriously limited. Growing up, I was a skinny, shy introvert who had terrible style. I was really skinny and struggled to put on any muscle. I basically looked anorectic, and I seriously lacked confidence and self-worth. So all throughout my life, all the way up until senior year, I didn't even have my first kiss. I struggled to get girls. I struggled socially making friends. I only had very few. And I was always wondering why these guys in the movies were having all this success with girls. Meanwhile, I couldn't even get a kiss. So this led me in my senior year to start working out. I started weightlifting and I put on some decent muscle. I went from skinny to relatively jacked, and I was very proud of my transformation. The guys I was hanging out around with at that time, they were like, "Damn, Seb, you got big." They were asking me for advice, and I felt really good about myself as a whole. So this led me to get my foot in the door with some girls and actually get attraction from them. But due to the fact that I was lacking the other two aspects, I wasn't able to have the success that I wanted. So as I did have a couple kisses and I did get with a girl here or there, and it was very infrequent and really not anything to brag about, and the ways that I got them was usually just through friends setting me up and things like that, I was able to attract some girls, but it still wasn't anywhere near the success I wanted and not with the quality of girls that I envisioned in my mind. So this leads us to the first value point, which is that girls are gonna judge you based off of face value, so you really need to work on improving your physical appearance through your body, looks maxing, your style. Those are pretty much the most important things that you can do, the highest return on investment activities. So as your face is pretty much your face, there's not many things you can do to it. You can change up your hairstyle, grow out a beard, just the little things. That's pretty much all you can do. But besides that, the actual fat content of your face is gonna be determined by your body fat. So the leaner you get, if you can build muscle and get into 8 to 12% body fat range, your face is gonna be at its most attractive. So physical transformation is the first thing you should be working on. Putting on muscle in the gym, getting your face optimized through just that, and then really just optimizing the looks that you have through a beard or hair. And then on top of that, your style. Your style is gonna say so much about you. People are gonna judge you based off of it. If you come into an interaction wearing streetwear with graphics, people are gonna judge you. If you come in with old money style, wearing timeless classics, people are also gonna judge you based off of that. But it all comes down to what judgments are they gonna be perceiving you as? Like, what are they gonna be thinking of you when they first notice you? And I prefer the timeless old money classic look. That's just my thing. I think it's a very classic style. It's very mature and it gets me a lot of girls nowadays. So that's what I work with now, but it wasn't always like that. I used to look like a highlighter. I would go to high school wearing neon, green, orange, yellow shorts with it was just a mess, man. So, really making sure that your style is something that you want to be perceived as, along with what you can physically do to your body to make it look as attractive as possible. This is gonna be what's gonna actually allow you to get your foot in the door, and it's gonna be the highest return on investment. This is what really allowed me to get my confidence up initially and start getting success with girls. And by the way, I'll help you get the girl of your dreams in the next 3 months. All you gotta do is book a free coaching call with me down below. This next aspect is what took me from looking exactly the same to getting more success with girls than I could ever imagine, all because of this one level up. So back when I was having that limited success with girls, I had a good physique, but my mind really wasn't developed that much. I still had a victim's mentality. I would blame a lot of people for whatever was going on in my life. And the only thing I really had going good for me was the fact that I was in the gym. Nothing else was good. I barely had any discipline beyond that. I love going to the gym, so it wasn't really a disciplined act. I didn't do too many hard things. I was kind of just breezing by in life. If it was a good time and I had fun with my friends, it was a good time. If it was a bad time and nothing was going on, then it was a really bad time for me. I had no control of my mental state beyond just kind of going with the wind. So eventually I found myself in a relationship, and this didn't last too long. It only lasted 3 months. I got broken up with. I was head over heels in love with her, so I was devastated and really, really heartbroken and was at an all-time low in my life. And this is when I learned about holistic self-improvement. And for the first time in my life, I took charge and really decided to shape my life in the way that I wanted to. I took control over the factors that I had control over. So I embarked on that holistic self-improvement. I cut out all instant gratification activities. I literally declared war on artificial dopamine at this point in my life because I was so desperate to feel better. I would do anything to feel better and not feel that heartbreak and that internal pain. And then I also took on the delayed gratification activities of reading, meditating, gratitude journaling. I was already in the gym, but continuing to do that. A lot of different aspects, also doing things like ice baths and challenges, like I was out hiking, spending time in nature, other things along those lines as well. So really just trying to work on my mental state, being that my physical state was pretty developed, but of course I was trying to improve that, but really developing my mind in every way, shape, and form, taking on discipline to a level that I never had before. And what did this do for me? Well, this changed everything. For the first time in my life, I had amazing mental health that I had full control over. I had this calm sense of peace within me. I had true internal confidence, and most importantly, trust in my word that when I said I was gonna do something, I was gonna follow through with it. And this later in life helped me so much, because when I said I was gonna go talk to a girl, in my mind, I went and did it. Like I said, I was a shy introvert. I was extremely not confident, I was insecure, I had all these issues, all this negative self-talk, all these limiting beliefs. So doing something like this was the most valuable thing I could have ever done, because when I saw a pretty girl now, and I said I was gonna go talk to her, you better believe I went and did it anyway, even if I was scared, and this is what really changed things up for me. But it was not even just that, it was beyond that. The mental health and what I did with my mind is what allowed me to actually be attractive to girls. I became a winner in my own mind. I didn't have the victim's mindset anymore. I didn't let things just go with the wind. I was taking control of my destiny. I was reading, learning all this new knowledge, practicing meditation, developing my mind, being still, being present, being calm and aware, doing things that I'd never experienced before. So what I really did during this phase of my life was develop my empathy, social intelligence. I developed in so many aspects. So when I came to having conversations with girls, when I went out for the first time after that 3-month phase, I had more successful girls than I could ever imagine. I went to Sweden. This was the hometown where my mom grew up in, and I absolutely killed it. I was there for 5 weeks, and I had gotten with more girls than I had in my entire life, double actually the amount. So that's just to say how much developing your mind will really do for you. So this was the biggest turning point where I was like, wow, there's so much more than just looks in terms of getting girls. And then this is also going to tie into the third aspect, which revolutionized things for me. But just to kind of wrap up this one, girls want someone who is confident, self-assured, and socially intelligent. And holistic self-improvement is going to be the best way to do this. When you read, for example, before I went over to Sweden, I read a couple books. I read How to Win Friends and Influence People. While I was there, I was reading Captivate, which is a book on charisma. And I applied all these things I was learning, as well as the meditation, being present, being able to feel empathy, being able to really bring the best version of myself to every single interaction, and just level up at a rate that I'd never had before. I was able to be charismatic. I was able to be present in conversations. I was able to actually push myself and talk to the girls that I once would have been too afraid to talk to. I would have had too many negative limiting belief thoughts coming into my mind, but because I saw her, because internally I wanted to talk to her, I said, I'm gonna go talk to her, and then I went and did it. And that's exactly what was really a game changer, was conquering my own mind. And this took me beyond where I could have ever imagined. So this was one of the most essential steps to taking the full advantage of everything that I built physically and using my mind to really get everything that I wanted. Once you have the physique and the mindset, this next aspect is what's gonna take you from being in a Mustang to a Lamborghini. They're both sports cars, but everyone wants to be in the Lamborghini. It's better looking, it's louder, it gets more attention. The Lamborghini is the car you wanna be in. Although the Mustang's a good sports car and it's fun, everyone wants the Lambo. When the Lambo drives by, everyone's head turns. So if you want to be the Lambo, you need to develop this last aspect, which is going to be game and communication. Really, communication is the core of it. See, I told you that example of how I went to Sweden after just reading How to Win Friends and Influence People and Captivate, and I had all that success. Well, that was just the most basic level of social skills. I learned the most basic things of just let the other person talk about themselves, be genuinely interested in them, be empathetic, ask follow-up open-ended questions, and this got me more success than I could ever imagine. So over the years past then, that was 3 years ago, I've taken on sales careers, I've read more books, I've had hundreds of interactions with girls, talking to them, sleeping with them, having all these different life experiences, and developing my communication and game in the process. So this is the highest return on investment thing that you can develop. See, with a physique, you can only get to a certain point once your return on investment is going to diminish. If you go from, say, 12% body fat to 8% body fat, your attraction doesn't go up that much. If you go from 200 pounds lean to 250 pounds lean, you're probably only going to get the appreciation of dudes. Only guys are really going to appreciate that level of muscle. Girls really don't care. There's only going to be a very select few girls who find that extra muscle attractive. But communication and game is something that you can develop endlessly, and it's just going to have an exponential return on investment. So this is the most important aspect. And for example, I'll give you someone who I know, who I've been working with recently, an old mentor of mine, who he isn't traditionally good looking really at all. He's not attractive. He doesn't have a good physique. He's just lean. He's skinny fat. And he's got the best charisma and communication that you could ever imagine. And he gets girls all the time. We were just at a mastermind event, and he got there's really like only one girl. There's all dudes, and then there's just like one or two girls. And he got that girl just because of his charisma, because of his communication. There's many guys there that were way, way better looking than him, but he got the girl because he's just so good with his communication, so good with his game, so good with his language that he was able to get that girl. So that's the power of communication. Even if you didn't have the prior aspects, but you were an amazing communicator, you would be able to still pull girls. That is really how powerful it is. But of course, having the physique, having the mindset are all going to lead to the communication being exponentially more powerful. So, communication should be your focus in terms of improving this along the journey. As you should be in the gym, as you should be developing your mind, you also really need to be learning about communication in all its different aspects. Not only just language and speaking, but nonverbal communication, empathy, social intelligence, being able to read people and notice the things that they do in a conversation, whether they're showing interest or whether they're showing disinterest. All these little things add up and make you overall a dynamic communicator. And that's really what's going to lead to game. Game is just being an amazing communicator overall. There's no such thing as being, game and communication really being separate. If you're a dynamic, amazing communicator, you have game. It's that simple. There's really no game beyond being the best version of yourself and then presenting that in every single interaction. So your physical is how people are going to judge you on first appearance, but your communication is how people are going to perceive you once you actually interact with them. And you can either make this perception a lot worse or a lot better, depending on your level of communication. So that's really the power that it has. And once again, if you want to get the girl of your dreams in the next 3 months by working with me to level up in every single aspect of your life, really focusing on those 3 that we just talked about, the physical, the mental, and communication, then book a free coaching call with me down below so we can get you absolutely dialed and get you the 10 out of 10 that you deserve.